right, we're back. It's another Barncast Live. It's Kyle Rush, Zach Blackerby, and boy, oh boy, do we have a ton to talk about. Auburn had a huge junior day this week. And Zach, I guess it's already time to kind of start talking about high school recruiting. We're kind of
Guess so.
We've moved on from the portal. Maybe there's some scragglers that come in, drip in here or there, but it seems like it's high school recruiting time, and Auburn had a big one this weekend. And I think there's three big things that you want to have happen when it's a new staff and a junior day. What you're trying to get out of this weekend. Number one, you want to bring in big names. Check, and we'll talk about that. I think number two, you want to take guys that you had a relationship that Auburn may have even led for before this new staff was hired, and you want to try to see where you are there and can you kind of pick up where you left off. And then the last thing is do things to create new relationships or bring some of your old relationships to Auburn and like associate it with Auburn. And I think they knocked it out of the park with all three of these.
Yeah, I think so. And that's been something that we've talked about a bunch as far as him getting in front of people that he needs to be getting in front of and building those relationships. And look, I mean, we heard from folks, or at least I know I did. I'm sure you did too. When he was hired, there were a lot of people throughout the state and throughout the Southeast that already knew of him because of him recruiting the Southeast at Tennessee, and then him even recruiting the Southeastern states when he was at USF. And I mean, how many guys did we see like, oh man, I really like you guys, but I feel like need a bigger stage in USF. And then he goes to Auburn and we flip a lot of these guys. I mean, I think that's kind of the proof is in the pudding with that. So I think all of this is just a continuation of that, Kyle.
Yeah. I think if you're like me, Zach, one of the things that I was concerned about, or one of the things I wasn't 1,000% sure on, yeah, you were awesome recruiting at South Florida in the American Conference, AAC, whatever it was called. How does that translate to me? Because it felt like the on the field football part of it was going to be fine, but can you marry that up with recruiting? And I have been blown away at how hard this dadgum staff gets after it, man. How hard they're working, and it seems to be paying off big time when you look at some of the stars, and I say that pun totally intended, that showed up this weekend on Saturday and today, which was the big portion of it. I think 31 total kids showed up, 2 5-stars, a pile of 4-stars. Where do you want to start? Where should we start?
I mean, let's start with the 5 stars. I think that's what's, most people are tuning in for.
Sometimes you bring in these guys, even if, you take a swing, even if it's maybe a long shot. I think getting these guys on campus is big, and both of these guys it's going to be hard battles for both. You got Elijah Haven, which is the number 1 quarterback in the country, showed up today, 6'5", 220. And then Monshin Sales, the number 1 wide receiver. So you had the number 1 wide receiver. I guess maybe it's the number 2 wide receiver and number 1 quarterback on campus today. Both big time targets that everybody's going to be after. But I tell you what, if you're going to be a big time program, you got to get in and get after it in these battles. Thoughts on those 2 guys making it in this weekend?
Yeah, I can't wait to see exactly how Golish does pursue these top quarterbacks because of there's an interesting pitch there, right? Because I'd be a little surprised if Auburn starter after Byron Brown is currently on the roster, like at least immediately after. I'd be a little surprised. So, what does the pitch look like when the quest for instant playing time seems to be a thing for all quarterbacks? Is the discussion of how we get you on the field, is it tied to, hey, we're going to get another 1-year guy and then it's your turn? That's something that I'm interested in seeing.
I wonder if you have a Julian Sayin pitch this year, or for next year. I'm sorry, for next year. Is that something like it's kind of like trying to nail it on a rookie contract in the NFL, like that rookie quarterback? If you can get that guy in, you get them so much cheaper than you do the veterans. Is it
Yeah.
is there a guy in this class that's good enough? I think Elijah Haven could be, and then Israel Abrams, who came in last the last junior day, could be a guy that maybe you kick the tires on that. How would you feel about that strategy in general?
I don't love it. It worked, and he has no issue playing younger guys at South Florida, but I do think it's a little different here. I don't love that, but his track record speaks for himself with quarterbacks, but those quarterbacks have been older. So
He did take Byron Brown from the beginning. I mean, I guess, but he did play 1 year at South Florida before Golish got there, so I guess that matters. But I don't know. Sometimes it has to be the right guy. Like to me, Elijah Haven, if you wanted to make a run at him, that would be probably the pitch that you'd have to make. Maybe he would sit for a year. Maybe he would sit for if you had a 1 year stopgap.
right.
Yeah, I think either or could possibly work, but sometimes I wonder, do you go get the young guy and then just build around him? And if he's good, he's good. But if you don't hit on him, it could hurt big time.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see like how foolproof is this scheme? How foolproof is this offense? I think that's another question with this. Like, can anybody run this offense, or a specific type of quarterback, style of quarterback run this offense? I don't know. That I think that's a big question in this.
Two other big time recruits that came in, two other big time guys that came in. Braden Tyson, running back from Brookwood, Georgia. Brookwood High School in Grayson, Georgia, and then Quinteris Gibson from Kennesaw. And this may be a signal of the type of running back that he likes. I'm looking at some of the guys that he brought in, and then both of these guys are 210 to 220 pounds.
Okay.
And that's a difference from what we've had maybe in the past. Golish wants to pound the rock.
But also, like, I mean, he ran Byron Brown 178 times last year. Yeah. I don't think he'll run him 100 and something or 170 something times this year. I don't think.
He doesn't necessarily have to. And then run him is another. How many of those are called runs versus how many of those are, the play breaking down and him extending it. So that's part of that too.
That's true. But it's still like, your guy getting hit
for sure
a lot.
It doesn't matter what the play was called. He's still getting when he takes off to run. They're still pounding him. Sure.
Yeah. So, excited about it though. Excited about the fact that these guys are at least listening to what he has to say. I mean, my understanding is this is a pretty big recruiting weekend everywhere, and these guys chose to, hear what Alex Golish had to say. I think that matters.
Yeah, and also I think a dead period starts at midnight too. So you kind of get the last word in, I guess. You're the last visit they have before this, this dead period hits for a little while. So I mentioned, getting the stars here. That was check. You had 2 5 stars, I think 16 to 18 4 stars, 31 total dudes in town. Check the box, big time. Now we're talking about some guys that or one guy in particular that I think could be the jewel of the class. That Auburn, if the old staff was still here, this guy would be an Auburn Tiger. You kept Vontrell King-Williams, but you still, even though you keep him, it's still a new staff, and you want to make a really good impression. And Donovan Moore from Hueytown had the chance to come into town for the first time and meet the staff. And this kid, I went and watched him in the playoffs this year. They were beaten by Benjamin Russell, but he was by far he's very easy to pick out on the field. You're looking across the sidelines, and there's no doubt who the 5-star is.
Yeah, you don't need the roster. You can say, "Oh,
No,
yep, that's him.
it's
That's
15.
him."
Whoever that is, that's the guy right there. Big defensive tackle, interior defensive lineman from Hueytown, Alabama. This was a guy that, Auburn really wanted with his last staff, and now he's left his first visit. Absolutely loves Alex Golish, loves the staff, says that's my guy, according to a couple different guys on the beat. And I think that's a really good sign. Not a lot of drop off. We as much
Is he a first step? Is that Coach L in Birmingham? Is he a Coach L guy?
It's a good question. I would imagine if he's in that.
I'm pretty sure he was there today too.
Well, that's
the pictures.
That gets to the that'll get to the third point. But yeah, that's a very good point there. But yeah, I think regardless, it's big to get a kid in that you've already done a lot of work on previous, which nobody ever worried about the previous staff as far as recruiting goes. It was on the field that there was all the the mess that we endured, but to be able to translate that over and knock it out of the park with him this weekend. He's scheduled an official visit in June. I think he's the only official visit. I think he's the first official visit scheduled, which is cool.
That's big.
Of the whole class. So you get Donovan, and that would be that's like, again, Donovan, and then there's Carlos May. I think that's also a really good in-state and interior defensive lineman. You got your sights set on a lot of those guys. Good news from him this weekend. Another check mark in the success box, I think, for Golish.
No doubt. It's just, I think you're going to see an uptick in these guys getting into the boat quickly across the sport, especially these larger guys with how NIL is becoming more and more nuanced and sophisticated, especially at the high school level, and getting guys involved and paid early. So they're going to do it. There's some splashes that need to be made probably within the next month.
Yeah, but the big thing to get to that conversation, to get to the money conversation, they have to like you first. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. you got to be in the conversation before you actually get to the money. And I think that's funny because when you hear and read a lot of the reports, it's like everything went really well. We'll see what happens when it gets to we start talking money down the road. I saw someone ask about offensive line. There was 2 interior 4-star offensive linemen and 2 4-star tackles in the mix that were here this weekend. So that's definitely not something that's being ignored. The staff, I think, what did we say last night on the Barncast? They brought in, was it 9?
Is it 9 portal guys?
9 portal offensive linemen and 5 freshmen. So clearly they have their focus on the offensive line. No doubt about it.
Which is exciting.
The third piece, and Zach kind of hinted at a portion of it is creating those relationships and associating them with Auburn. Like, you may have some guys, and what I'm talking about is, you mentioned Coach L and the guys in Birmingham, the trainers, and then you got the madhouses in in Montgomery. And then I noticed, or I was told, they brought in, a big 7-on-7 team and their staff from Fort Lauderdale, DEFCON United. They came in for this as well and ate dinner at Baumhauer's Saturday night. And that's what, Lane Kiffin, and a lot of the success he had was really being connected and tied to those 7-on-7 teams. That's where he got all his skill guys. So
yeah,
to see, we're going to have a lot of Florida flavor on this thing, man. They really think they can have some success in Florida. And that, to me, is these are the things that this is the relationships that people don't think about. This is going beyond just going and meeting the high school coach. This is all of the other, it's so much different now and so much more of a it's just so much more intricate as far as a kid goes, and the people that surround him. And Golish was checking a lot of the boxes with all those different folks this weekend as well.
Yeah. I mean, once again, like, I mean, even this first class, from a timing standpoint, like, you're a little behind the 8 ball. Now, it does seem like he was recruiting some of these kids to go to USF, but a lot of these top guys, like, probably not. They probably weren't even answering their calls a few months ago. So the fact that he's done everything that he needs to do so far up to this point, and getting in front of all these high school coaches, and this is also like having so many former head coaches on the staff. Like, I think this is another part of this too, is like they all really get it. They all get what needs to happen, which is also crucial.
That's a really underrated point. The fact that you got so many guys that have actual head coaching experience or coordinator experience. Like, there's a lot of guys that have called plays that are now position coach. Like, just like they get it. They've been around, they get it, and they're doing the small things. This is not really related to junior day, Zach, but Taylor Corn, she texted me about the meeting at the AFLCA, Alabama Football Letterman and Coaches Association. I think that's what it was.
Hey, you nailed that.
They had the big banquet, where all the coaches, all the high school coaches from the state go. And usually there's about, I would say 70-ish% of the big time college football programs send some type of representation to these things. And she said that usually her dad had a lot to do with this banquet or this get together. And he said that generally there's a head coach and like a recruiting coordinator that go to these things.
Yeah.
Well, Golish sent the whole staff. So it was him and the whole staff, Cody Burns, all of them. And to me,
I love it.
That's something I watch. I bet you that starts happening now. That the other schools are going to start doing that. But what better way to introduce your whole staff to as many high school coaches in one place as you possibly can do all at once?
It's stuff like that, though, that seems like a no-brainer to me.
Exactly. Like, that's
I mean, he made a promise, like, right out of the gate. Like, nobody's going to work harder than us. So,
and you heard Josh Pate said the same thing, and you hear that often. Okay, like you hear nobody's going to work harder than his staff. I promise you that. And then you hear people vouch for other people, saying nobody's going to outwork him. Right. What does that look like? You know what I mean? Like, okay, anybody can say that. What does that actually look like? And then this is, to me, this is part of it. This is part of it where it's like you send the whole staff to some of these things. Here's another one. I talked to some of the guys that are work with On to Victory, and they're still a part of the collective, and they help a lot with recruiting and whatnot, and Golish, and they were helping in the transition as far as getting him here. And they had the Auburn jet ready to take him back to Tampa. They're like, it's Christmas Eve. We'll get the jet, get you home for practice. I mean, get you home for Christmas Eve. And he's like, we're working till 1 o'clock. We're working till 1 o'clock. He's like, so that's, whatever you want to do, but we're working on Christmas Eve till 1 o'clock. So like he's in there grinding. I joked about it. I still don't think he's bought a house in Auburn. I really don't think that that's a thing yet. I think he's just literally been in a hotel, just and in the football facility, just grinding day in and day out. Now, maybe when you have this little dead period, maybe we can actually get this guy, 100% moved in and settled down a little bit.
If Coach Golish needs a realtor, who should he hit up?
I would love to help him. I would love to help him. Hit me up, Coach. We'll get this thing fired up. But no, I just, that's stuff. The little things like that, man, to me matter. If you can do the little things like that, I can be patient with you. I think a lot of people can, is if they see the work ethic, that they'll get behind you.
Yeah. The thing that's impressed me most about Golish and this staff, and this is all kind of hearsay and through different reports. And you and I've had conversations with people that I feel pretty confident this is true. Is I think when they got here, they didn't understand the full, like, market value for some of this, for some of these guys, and then they pivoted. They weren't prideful with it. They said, "Oh, okay, we're wrong. Let's adjust. Let's adapt." And that led to them retaining some guys. And maybe some guys, if they could do it over again, they would. I think there would be different guys on our roster, but they learned, they pivoted. And I think that's an underrated element in all of this.
Totally. Got some emails. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So the first one, apparently, this is me when another player gets injured. Okay, when a player gets injured.
Here comes Pettiford in transition. Oh, he smothered him! Yes! Get out of here, Pat Adams! And the referee goes down hard, clutching his hip. They'll stop play.
That's right. That's what you get.
That's so good.
And then we got a Brad.
Hey there, I'm Brad Lobster. Nice to meet you. Want to hear a cool crustacean fact? Lobsters have blue blood. That's right, thanks to copper in their blood instead of iron, it's bright blue when it's pumped full of oxygen. Stick around for more.
Can you keep that in there so I can play that during Village Vice tomorrow?
I will not delete that.
Thank you. I know you love to delete things.
Where were we? I
don't know after that.
Where do we even go? You want to talk about basketball for a second? You get a week off.
If you want to.
Let's talk about basketball. You got a week off. Alabama played today, and even though they're a pro team, they lost very badly. They played today, they play Wednesday, and then obviously they play us on Saturday.
Do you see Alabama allowed 70-something points in the paint?
I think that was some kind of record. I don't know exactly what the
points in the paint.
They brought a guy in from the NBA to stop that, and it hasn't worked yet. Did you hear the fans G League dropout?
It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty brutal. And also, this is what we're talking. I meant to talk about Auburn basketball, but obviously this game was fun to watch today. Nate Oates had been talking about how he felt like their bigs were in the lane too long, 10 seconds at sometimes.
I saw this, yes.
And then Todd Golden made some references to that, which I thought were hilarious. They were in the lane for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
And they'd go up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good stuff. But I kind of like the fact that, Alabama does have not only do they have a short week with a lot of games, they also have a big court case, I think like Friday before the game, which is wild.
Wonder what the guys on the team think about it.
What's that? Oh, you're talking about Alabama's team?
Yeah.
I guess they love it.
That they have a G League, that they brought a guy from the G League on their roster?
It's probably a distraction. It's probably becoming a distraction, but I don't think they really care.
You don't think so?
Well, they didn't take a spot away from anybody. They had an extra spot, so like
taking minutes from somebody.
I mean, minutes, sure.
It's also embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. And they're getting killed. And they're
Alabama won a Final Four, 2 years ago?
Yeah. They're getting killed over it, and
it's a terrible look. And
they're
you're losing.
Yeah, and they're losing. Exactly. Barn Booster says Junior Day sells potential. Saturdays in the fall sell proof. I like that.
That's a bar. Goodness gracious.
Specifically with wins, if Auburn pairs this recruiting momentum with on-field improvement, this Junior Day could become a huge turning point.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. We've had a lot of good Junior Days over the last few years. 100%. You're 100% right. So yeah, we got to give them something where they want to come be a part of it. That is it
for sure. And then have we got our ducks in a row versus what happened last summer? That's going to be, to me, that may be a bigger storyline as far as money goes. That may be a bigger storyline than anything as far as how this recruiting class plays out, because we weren't playing in the same sandbox, just point blank, as some other schools last summer. And then obviously the season didn't help either. So have we either determined that we can play in the gray area, we'll play in the gray area, or we found ways to make found ways to actually justify filling those gaps that we were so far off last year. I think that's going to be a huge storyline.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Cohen makes moves like moving the Baylor game to Atlanta for $7+ million potentially to pay our student athletes if you're not ready to pay them. So yeah, I mean, you got to get that money somewhere. You got to get it somewhere, then you got to give it to them. So.
Exactly. And if you're going to be one of the better schools as far as like getting these third party NIL deals approved, use it. This it's time to use it.
Yeah,
and that matters in these discussions.
Yeah. I had a pretty lengthy conversation with someone who would know these numbers over the course of the weekend. And, Auburn feels pretty confident that they had one of the more expensive rosters in the SEC. And, they spent more on the roster this year than they did last year, supposedly. So they're willing to make sure guys are compensated.
The problem is
yes.
The problem is on the front end. You got these guys on the front end. We got to do better. Period. And there's some stories there that we could talk about from last summer. But bottom line is these junior days are great. Big Cat weekends are going to be great. All this official visits are going to be great. If you haven't corrected the problem from last summer, you'll see similar results. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and we'll know, right? I mean, we'll know.
Oh yeah,
you'll know right away if they fix that or not.
Donovan Moore is a good example. Okay, if he's not committed before his official visit, if he's not committed after the official visit, probably going to be a red flag.
I assume we have access to the ability to know if all these deals went through NIL Go and were approved. Like I'm assuming they were. I'm assuming like there wasn't this big wave of decommitments that we thought. So, surely we will pivot. Surely that will happen.
I hope that's the case. All right, back to basketball real quick.
That's where the chat is right now.
The chat is locked in to basketball. So let's get back to basketball. Do you think the week off helps? Is it comes at a good time, or would you rather be playing this week leading up to Alabama this weekend?
I think in Auburn's situation, I think we need some time. I know Overton came back in, but I'd like him to get some rest after getting kneed in the back of the head.
Ooh, that was tough.
Keyshawn Hall's hand, whatever that might be, put in a nice bucket all week, if that's what the doctor says to do. Whatever it says to do to get it healthy. And then who else? Murphy. Knee. He never left the game, but it did look like he kind of tweaked his knee a little bit. He never came out, which is a good thing, but still,
Alabama's going to be pushed. Alabama's going to be pushed to the limits on Wednesday. They're playing Buckyball. They're playing Texas A&M. So that's not going to be an easy game. They're going to press them. They're going to run them, and it's going to be another physical game. So I'm with you. I think that sometimes
where is that game played?
Let's look it up. Talking about their game.
Yes, obviously we Bama.
Play. Yeah,
but
let's see here.
It'd be great if that game was played in A&M. It's gonna be physical nonetheless, and it's a Wednesday game, not a Tuesday game. So like it truly is up.
It's in Tuscaloosa.
What time? 6 or 8?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Still though, quick turnaround. What time is our game? What time do we play them on Saturday?
3, I believe.
3. That's typically a afternoon game.
Yeah.
So that is a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of basketball. That's 3 games in 7 days, or actually almost less than 7 days. If you look at
math.
No, it's a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's a week. 3 games in a week.
It's a physical. I mean, you get blasted by Florida,
completely outclassed. You
come home, and then you've got your hands full with A&M still first in the conference, I assume.
Yeah,
and then. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough stretch. We've talked about the tough stretches in Auburn's schedule. Like this is the tough stretch for Alabama's schedule. It's just part of playing in the SEC.
100%. As far as that goes, I mean, It's going to be a big. We're going to really. It's going to be. I think it's going to be in a really electric atmosphere. I think they're going to be very,
The
very.
Bediako stuff is going to be insane.
It's going to make
my
it kind of pumps
goodness.
everybody up. I mean, I think everybody wants to shove it. If you know what I mean.
Well, and it's so Bama, right? Like it's so, oh, y'all are just doing this because you think you can just do whatever you like. It's so Alabama. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna go off here for a second on a tangent. Here's another thing, and shout out to Zach Dixon. Not everybody can win this far. Zach, not everybody can win.
Not everybody, but one team did it. One team did it. Zach, who was it?
Them Tigers.
Yeah,
them Auburn Tigers.
How about that?
Here's the thing. When Oates was talking about how hopefully, if we do stuff like this, there can be changes made, as if it's like we're doing this for a noble cause for the betterment of college basketball. And there's a lot of fans that are saying the same things. Well, maybe if this happens, there can be some kind of rules change or this, that, and the other. And it's like, you just wanted a better player. Like, it's not any deeper than that. Deeper than that. You sucked at your big men suck, and you had this layup that you thought you could get through. You pushed it through. The NCAA said no. You sued them. So the NCAA, there is a rule. There was a rule in place. You didn't like the rule. You wanted a better basketball player in your mind, so you sued them to get the better basketball player. That's it. That's the story. Like, there's no we're not white knighting for the betterment of or if we're not falling on the sword for college basketball and the betterment of the league.
Yeah, is that what they're trying to push?
Yeah. It's we're being noble. We're being noble here.
Well, I mean, you've got a guy who, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. If you enter your name in the draft and you don't withdraw it by a certain point, it's pretty cut and dry that your eligibility is that that's what everybody says when they announce that they're going to the draft. That like it used to be, I'm entering the NBA draft and signing with an agent, foregoing my eligibility. That used to be the language. Now it's I'm entering the NBA draft and keeping my name in it or whatever it may be. And that's why they say that, is saying like, hey, yo, I'm done. I'm not coming back. I'm giving up my eligibility. But
yeah. And now you got kids from UCLA that are have actually played NBA minutes, but they still have a year left in their mind on their clock. And hey, if this goes through, maybe I got a shot. And then let's just keep pushing the line out a little bit further. No, there's nothing noble.
If it goes through, we're about to see a totally different sport in every sport. Like college athletics is going to turn into the minor leagues because they're going to be able to pay more than the minor leagues. And that's going to be a fascinating development.
Yep. Barn Booster says, when your ace card is we've got an NBA player and the result is still an L, that's not a flex. That's a Yelp review.
Gosh, Barn Booster
he's on fire.
He's dropping bars tonight.
He is on he's on fire. Anything else you want to get to? What's the big storyline? What are we looking for between now and spring? What are we hoping to see?
Now in spring?
There's not much.
I don't know if there's really anything that can happen. I think you're going to see more and more people really buy into Byron Brown. I think that's going to happen, but it's not anything that matters. I think that's interesting. I don't think it's important. But I do. Do you see the spread, the opening spread for Auburn Baylor drop? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
You want to guess what it is?
I'm going to say Auburn.
Add 2 or 3 to whatever you're thinking. There's a hint. It's a lot.
Okay, so Auburn 9.5.
Oh, 7.5. I shouldn't have said anything.
Well, I was going to say 6.5 was going to be my line.
7.5. Yeah.
Wow. That's not bad. That's about right for me. I think that's about right.
Really, that was higher than I was expecting.
6.5, I think, would be. That's kind of what
see Vegas hating DJ Lagway. I also could see that.
Not
that DJ Lagway is bad. I don't think we know.
Do we have a national signing day this year? Do we have anybody? I think that's going to be. I mean, is that Wednesday?
Yeah, because he has a presser planned.
really.
Interesting. Yeah, they sent out the media availability for that, which begs the question of like, is there something to talk about from that?
You know, there was talk about maybe it sliding in a JUCO guy, maybe some JUCO guys on the defensive line. This maybe sneak them in this weekend, but I don't think that ever materialized. Or if it did, it was kept way under wraps. And then I look through the recruit list. There's like nobody left uncommitted. Or unsigned. There's
You'd
just
almost
nothing
have
out
to
there.
get somebody that could reclassify and just get here in the summer,
Like an Omar.
but normally we know about that. by
Yeah, we
now.
do though. You're right. You would have already known way prior. So I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be. I don't know if there is. It'll be a surprise. So and that's kind of.
Which would be fun. That'd be great.
I'm looking forward to the press conference. It should give us something to talk about. So that's good.
Yeah, we got coordinators like the day after that, so we got some stuff coming.
Let's go. Zach, man, I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for jumping in the chat. Next Sunday, probably no Barncast. Super Bowl.
I will not be available.
We'll see how that plays out, because that'll be right in the heart of the game. So I don't know.
I'm going to be miserable.
We may do it on a different day. How about that? So we'll see what happens, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll talk again soon. War Eagle.